Okay, girls, so for this video, I'm going to show you how are you going to create different shapes here in Medibang Paint Pro. Okay, let's start. So once you've opened the program, so I'm using a laptop, you can also create a new file by clicking this file and then just click new, and then you can type again the size of the file and the resolution, and then just click OK. Okay, so to create different shapes, the tool that we need to use is the fill tool, this one. So once you click this, you can find this drop down arrow. So then let's click this one. And you can see there are three different shapes or shape tool here in Medibang Paint Pro. So we have rectangle, ellipse, and polygon. So let's try to use the rectangle first. Just click rectangle, and then also same with the line. You can choose different colors here in the color panel. Okay, let's just try to use a red color. Okay, once you click rectangle, you can find here also on the control panel the constraint proportions. So what is that? Constraint proportion is when you want to create a perfect square or a circle. So let's try to check this one. Check this. And then you can also find the round corners. So what is this round corners for? So round corners is used if you want to create a rounded rectangle or a square. But for now, let's just try to create a square using the rectangle tool. Let's just uncheck this, the round corners. So we are going to try that later. Let's try to create a square. So we've already checked the constraint proportions, meaning you are going, it will automatically create a perfect square or a circle. Let's create a square. Okay, so there. So as you can see, you are automatically creating perfect squares, like that one. But then again, you can also resize this or scale this by going to select and then transform, and then you can click and drag those points of the box to resize and also move the shape or element in your document. So once done, just click OK or press enter in your keyboard. Okay, so now we're done creating squares. If we uncheck the constraint proportions, we can create a rectangle. Okay, let's try to use a different color. So for example, I'm going to use a violet. So you just need to click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. So now you have different shapes of rectangles over here. Because we unchecked the constraint proportions, we didn't create a perfect square, so we created a rectangle. Okay, let's try to check the round corners. Let's see what does it do. So let's create a new layer. Let's choose a different color for that. For example, it's this green color. And then let's check the round corners. And then you can also adjust the size of the roundedness of the corner of the rectangle or the square. So let's try to make it, let's start with 20. And then you can just press enter and let's see how does it look like. So let's click and drag. So as you can see, let's zoom it in. Oops. Okay, so as you can see, girls, the corners of the rectangle is rounded. So if you want to make it, if you want to make the round bigger, you can make the numbers, just type a higher number. For example, let's try to make it 50. So let's see how does it look like. Okay, there you go. So as you can see, the roundedness of the corner have become wider or bigger. Alright, so let's zoom it in. Okay, there. Okay, let's try to delete this or let's hide this layer so we can create other shapes. So let's add a new layer and then let's try to use the ellipse tool. Okay, so if you want to create a perfect circle again, just click this constraint proportions. Okay, and then you can now create a perfect circle by click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. But what if you wanted to create an oval? So you just need to uncheck this. Okay, let's create a new layer once again. Let's try to use a different color. And then you can now create an oval. You just need to click and drag again. Click and drag, click and drag, click and then drag. So now you have an oval. Okay, so let's hide this layers to create our other shapes. So let's add a layer once again. Let's try to use the polygon tool. Okay, so polygon tool is used for creating shapes that have straight sides or lines. So what are examples of polygon shapes? So these are the triangle, square, rectangles, hexagon, heptagon, pentagon, octagon, and so on. And also you can use it if you wanted to create irregular polygons, irregular shapes of polygons. So let's try to create polygon shape. So let's add a new layer and then let's use a different color. So let's make it purple like this one. And then make sure you selected the polygon shape and then uncheck the round corners and constraint proportion because we don't need those features in creating polygon shapes. So to use it, you just need to click and then you can find the preview of the line and then click, click, and then once you're done with the shape, you just need to double click it and now you have a triangle. So you can try to draw different shapes that have straight sides using this um, polygon tool, like this one. Okay. Alright, like this. And there you go. So these are the shape tools that you can use here in Medibang Paint Pro.